Yeah, I don't know. I don't live. I don't have like a super interesting like hobby life or whatever. I have a big family. I live with my family, so like I just hang out with them a lot. I'm the oldest of seven,
I was gonna
so
say how.
What?
yeah. So I've got six younger siblings.
How old are you, Javi?
I'm 23. Three,
Okay.
yeah. I keep it changes every year, so I have to keep track of it.
Is there like a big?
It changes every year. Right?
Changes every year.
That's funny.
Is there like a big gap between your siblings, or are there a couple like twins in there? Or
No, so my next the next youngest, I guess next oldest is 22, and then it's 21, and then it's like 16. So the youngest is 8. So like there's a big gap between me and the youngest, but not like
sure,
in
not even like 8. That's 15 years. It's
Yeah,
7
that's
kids in 15 years. That's
Javi.
bless your parents.
Maggie's mom, Maggie's mom's family. So my mother-in-law's family is also, she is one of 7 as well, where it's 3, the oldest 3 are 3 girls and the oldest 4 are 4 boys. The crazy thing about that is, so what you said that you're the oldest, you're 23, or the youngest is 8.
Mhm.
So that's, what did we say?
I guess in 2 days, based on where it is, she'll be 9. But yes.
Okay, so that's like 15, 14 years. So for them, it was 12 years. The craziest part of this is that Maggie's oldest aunt, who is her mom's older sister, and the youngest brother, Ted, have the same birthday, 12 years apart. So 7 kids in 12 years, and the first and the last have the same exact birthday, 12 years apart, which I think is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. That is like, that is like God playing a practical joke on like those parents. Like, that is crazy. But anyway, Nick, you have siblings.
Are we cut back in at this point?
Oh, we've been cut back in for a while. We cut out for a while. I did a countdown and everything. We cut out because I said something offensive. And we're going to leave it at that. It wasn't offensive, but it was kind of offensive. Anyway, Nick, you have how many siblings?
I have 2 siblings, Tim.
You're the oldest, though.
No, I'm not.
You're the middle. You're the middle.
I'm forgotten.
You have an older sister and a younger brother.
Yes. What a great conversation we're having.
What about me, Nick? Where's my siblings at?
Oh, you definitely have 2 sisters.
I do have 2 sisters.
Do you have a third sister as well?
I do have a third sister.
Damn.
Yeah, I have 3 sisters.
3 sisters, okay. And you're the youngest.
And I'm the youngest, yeah. I have 3 older sisters. I am the what about you, Javi? What's the split there? Boys and girls.
It's 3 boys, 4 girls.
It's fair. I feel like, though, are there any like twins or anything in the mix there? No. I feel like you being the oldest, though, that's a lot of responsibility. Like, as far as like, you have younger sisters.
Do you ever feel like Nora from Cheaper by the Dozen?
Nora's Hillary Duff?
No. Nora's like the old one with the job.
Oh, the one that's the one that looks like she's pissed
the one that's gonna get married to Ashton Kutcher, right?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Not really. I don't know, because I grew up so close with my younger brother. And he's I don't work out or anything. I'm much more of a nerd than he is. He's like relatively bigger than me. So like I feel like my younger siblings look up to him a lot, which eases a lot of the weight off me. But I think they like still respect me. I hope, as an older brother. But like they're like, sometimes it's like, oh, it's time to make a decision. Ricardo, what do you want? Spoiler, my brother's name is Ricardo. That comes out.
Are all 7 of you? You said that you live with your family. Are all 7 of you still in the house?
So yes, except for my sister who's currently at college. So I'm doing school online, and then she's doing
that. So 6 of you are still at home.
Yeah.
Do your parents want to die?
No, they honestly, my dad talks about it a lot. He's like, I'm fine with them staying in the home, like, because like they do stuff for us. Like, it's like we get to spend time with them. Like, it's like, it's not even like child labor anymore. They're adults, so it's all fine.
That's actually I lived at home till I was 23 is when I got married. Yeah, I was 23. Maggie was 21. And when we got married, so I moved out for the first time. That was the first time I had ever moved out, was when I was 23. And no, it was very much like, granted, I'm the youngest of four. I'm the only boy, but my dad was similar, where it was like, by the time I turned 19, it was very much like I was working full time. I was supporting myself. I paid my own phone, gas, like insurance. Like, I did all the adult things that my parents. So it was just kind of like, I'm here, I'm living here, I'm not paying rent, but they're not necessarily like, but we're we're cohabitating and helping with the things. Because I would imagine, Javi, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but like, if your parents were like, hey, you have a 9-year-old sibling, can you do X, Y, and Z to help us out with this sibling? You would be willing to do that because you're a nice guy.
Yeah,
So
well,
there's give and take, and there's pros and cons.
Sure, yeah. I mean, so my mom is Spanish, my dad is Cuban. Hispanics, I don't want to stereotype, but like, at least Cubans have a very big like history of like, I'm turning blue again. This is great. I love this camera, dude. Is that better?
That's better.
Yeah. It's weird. Cubans just have like a culture of like, well, you don't need to move out, so why would you move out? Like, my dad was the same way. Like, he didn't move out until he got married. So I was like, yeah, all right. Like,
cool.
He was like 25 or 6 when he got married. So it's, just having a great time.
Yeah.
Nice.
Versus Nick, who left at 18 and never went home to his mom. That's not true. You did. I forgot about that. When was that?
You're telling a lot of my story.
when was that the only time you've moved home? When was that?
So let's see here. I lived at home till I was 18. Then I went to college, and then I guess I technically like lived at home like 2 or 3 of the summers between.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then actually just 2. I worked at the school during the other summers, but then I moved back home for the summer before I went to California. Went to school in California while I was out there. Moved back home, but got an apartment during COVID because I didn't want to move back home. So I got an apartment like up the street from my parents' house, which was the dumbest thing I've ever done.
The I don't remember that. The apartment that you had with where you stole the Wi-Fi.
I borrowed it, and it was my cousin's, so it was absolutely.
But that apartment, that was right up the road. Was that after you and me and Cody and Maggie hung out in Kansas City? Was that apartment?
Yes, I was driving home. I was driving home. I lived at my parents' house for like a week, and I was like, not my parents' fault at all. I was just literally like, I can't move back home right now. Like, I need to. Like, I had my own room in college. Like, I never had roommates. Same thing in grad school. So I was just like, I need my own place.
Yeah.
So I went and got an apartment up the street from my parents' house. Dumbest thing, because I spent months of rent I just didn't need to spend because I was literally out working the whole time delivering pizza. So I ended my apartment, moved back home for like 2 months before I moved to New York. So haven't really long-term lived at home in a while.
Yeah, that's fair. Dude, I mean, I think it's I think there is a stereotype of like the nerdy guy who like lives in his parents' basement, but like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Now, if
that dude grows up and gets super rich, and then because they didn't spend money on
that, but what I was gonna say was, if you are living at home and you are depending on your parents in a way where they are like 80 years old and you're in your late 30s, mid 40s, like somewhere in there, and you're not doing anything, that is one thing. I think that is an issue you need to grow up.
If you're John
But if you're living at home and your parents are cool with it and you're cool with it and you're working and you're doing stuff, all power to you. I no problem for me. I think, because I mean, I did it. Obviously, Javi's doing it. Like, I think a lot of people do it. And honestly, like, Maggie and I talk about this all the time. We're like, my parents are my best friends. Like, I got Nick, and I got friends from work and friends from church and stuff. And like, there are people that I'm very close with. But like, when I like really like not everybody has that relationship with their parents, but like I am lucky to be very close to my parents. So if that's your situation, like it's not, I don't see why it's a bad thing. I don't know why there's
I
like
just don't.
there's necessarily like a negative stereotype to it. I'm not saying that was you, Nick. I'm just saying
I just don't like, other than my love. I don't like living with people. So,
is this the is Anna the first person you've lived with?
well, no, like I had roommates freshman year.
You did, okay.
Then I became an RA, and like I lived with my brother and sister and parents
Well,
growing up. But then I became an RA, had my own room for the rest of college, moved to San Diego, got my own apartment, moved back, got my own apartment, moved to New York. My job provided housing, so I lived by myself. But
I was an alright. Yeah, dude.
yeah, that was my career path for a while, and then I realized
get it.
higher ed's insane. But anyway,
Maggie is the only person I've lived with other than my parents. Like I've never even done like my sister. Like I used to live in Indiana, and before we moved to Wisconsin, like my sister came out to Wisconsin for school, and she lived with my grandma for like a semester. Like I've never even done anything like that. Like it's always either been my parents and my siblings or Maggie. Like that's all I've known, which is I'm very thankful for because I don't think I would be good at living alone. I'm a very what's that?
I don't think I would be either. I think I'd be too secluded. Like I'm already kind of a recluse. I feel like if you just gave me like all the space, I'd be like, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take all the space.
I am the best. I'm the best alone liver on the planet.
I think I'd be really good at it for about a week.
So good.
But I am also the type of person, which sorry if my anybody that employs me hears this, but like if Maggie was gone, like let's say she was gone for like a month, and I could get up in the morning and be like, I'm gonna take a vacation day because I have the hours to use it. I would literally use all my vacation time and sit on the couch and do nothing. But because I have to get up and know that like if I don't go to work or if I don't do this, like Maggie depends on, well, she doesn't really because she makes way more than I do, but she wants to see me go to work. Ellie needs me to go to work. I need to do things for Ellie and Maggie. Like that's what kind of forces me to like get out and do stuff. If I lived alone, I very much feel like I would just, like Javi said, like I would be very reclusive and like not do well emotionally, like or physically. Yeah.
You'd make friends online out of necessity.
Yeah, do some weird trivia shit. I don't know. Talk about Professor Poopy Pants or something. I don't know.
Lake Titicaca. All right.